What's going on? Move the Mouse here, back in City Skylines, the town of Plainville, episode 3.5. It really is 3.5 because I have an episode that I've already recorded that I think I say 4, and this really was all part of episode 3. I just didn't realize how long I recorded when I did it. So we dropped in a bus and an inefficient taxi depot. But now we're going to keep growing the city, move a bunch of people in so we can get to that next milestone, move the high density stuff in and get access to things like Metro, University. You'll see. Let's kick it off where we left off last time. So we're not too far off. We only need a couple hundred people, and man, are they dying to move into the town. So let's do a little something over this way. Let's see. Let's frame out the most basic of frames here. So where are we coming? Do we dump this straight in? I think it's okay if we do. I think it's fine. So straight tool. We'll come back here. We'll leave room for leave too much room. We'll leave room for a pedestrian path over here because we're going to get a little bit, this is going to be higher density. We're going to want some people to move around on foot wherever we can. So it was 12 units back because of the 4-lane street. We can go 11 units back when we're dealing with a slightly narrower street, right? This takes up more space on the grid. So you go 12 over to leave that space, go 11 over for these roads. But that will get some people moving around on foot. So yeah, how far back does this go, right? At least 3. I want to get a sense for how these slopes work. And whether or not we do something like that to really kind of make the space dense. And then let's come... I mean, we want to minimize 4-way intersections or intersections at all, really, with this road. So, if we're gonna have highway traffic coming in this way, right? This road's gonna kind of link up to here. A lot will be funneling into this neighborhood, circling through here. How do we get off of this? How do we do this without backing it up too much? Right in the center? Right here. Let's do that. And let's see what we can cram in here. Let's come out to there before we maybe bend like that. That could work. So that gets this back neighborhood kind of connected in here. We can also, have it connect up over this way. So what if this comes out up this hill? Let's see what this hill looks like. Because this might be too intense of a... it's not too bad. That's not too bad. I like that. And then later on, we'll have another one that, if our exit is kind of in the middle of that landmass, maybe we'll go, we'll come this way, and then we'll fork off that way towards this road. Snake some neighborhoods in behind there. Just trying to paint in my mind where we're going here. I mean, I kind of feel like we need that, right? That connection right there. Okay, we're gonna provide some barrier here. I'm realizing how close we're getting to the pollution there. We want to be careful. So We might want to smooth that out, but then again, we might just want to let it go. So I'm going to break up the zones a bit, but that broke it up a lot. There's some tiny houses. We can deal. It's all right. I think it's most important, right, to get a more organic feeling city is to get these veins, right? Get the lifeblood of your city in and kind of sketch out those ideas in your head, or, you know, leave some pointers with some gravel roads or even district markers and things like that, and kind of work towards that plan and then fold things together, you know. And when we get over here, this is going to be a much more grid heavy piece, right? This is not that this is not gridded, but this is just a simple neighborhood, you know. Roads come to an end because of the hill that they're running into. I gotta flatten out that cemetery. You know, like loose connections kind of like that. And then when we get down into this neighborhood, you know, again, just filling the space to maximize that zoning before that road that was already there, you know. And it's how things happen. It's how cities grow. So kind of keep those things in mind, unless you're, you know, making just a nonstop grid, then that's easy. Just make a nonstop grid. But if you want to kind of fold some neighborhoods together, I think that's the most important part, is decide, you know, these connecting lanes that carry the traffic really through the most important parts, the arteries, and go from there. So, okay, enough. Wow, a lot of talk, not a lot of progress here, but and this is why I wanted to stop, right? I ran the game offline for a while. I think I said that. And, I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to build anything of any importance, right? I did drop in. I'm sorry, I did drop in a couple things, right? Water. We need more water, so it's just another of the same water pump right next to that, and another of the same sewage pump right next to that. So little stuff like that, you know. I didn't feel the need to necessarily record. I want to talk, you know, about the process. That's, you know, part of what I do here, but also really kind of diving into some of these things like the default farm zoning and stuff like that I just have never messed with, and I don't know that I've ever explained or gone into any detail on. So come on, snap. You want to snap? So we'll do the same thing there. Kind of nonsensical pipes, but that's all right. We don't have to be on a grid. It just has to be covered. Sometimes this bothers people, like when I don't do the... Like, I'll start with a grid, and it'll be super organized, and then I'm just like, oh, I need a little bit over there. You know? So, hopefully that doesn't bother you, because we just did that too. So this is all pretty well covered. That's good. Let's do this. Let's move some more people. And we had some serious residential demand going. So I D-zoned just a little bit up here on the back of that. What is that? The hospital now? Police department. We should look at our city services while we've got some money too, and see where we need more fire, education, whatever it might be. But that will move in a decent amount of people. When we get to, let's see if we can get that demand to get us up. And actually, before all these people move in, hold on a second. Healthcare. This was part of Sunset Harbor update, right? The free update that happened with Sunset Harbor. This is not DLC. This is just something that I had talked about previously during that DLC. So, Child Health Center. Check this thing out. It's pretty awesome. So $500 a week, sure, 18,000 bucks, but it boosts the birth rate within the building's radius and offers health services to children and teens, creating a health benefit for the area. Healthier, live longer, pay more taxes. That's all you need to know. And look at the area of effect of this thing. So before we move too many people in here, we kind of want it right there on that intersection, because look what that does for us. That's going to cover all this if this is residential. that just covers a huge patch of the city. So I think right there is a fantastic spot for our child health center. We'll move a couple businesses out to do it, and that's totally fine. Now, the other one, again, live longer, pay more taxes. Elder care extends the lifespan of elderly citizens of the elderly within the building's radius. And again, this thing has a pretty massive area of effect, so cover as much residential as you can with that. Awesome if we could tuck it in right there. Where will it let us? No. That's moving a few people out. But the ones that stay are going to live that much longer, and we've got a bunch more zoning right around the corner, so... Come on, move into town over here instead. With all that demand we've got. So that's all filled in nicely. We've got elder and childcare services. Let's just take a look. 6 citizens healing capacity is pretty good. See, all the people are leveling up now because of the city service coverage. Let's get one more. When do we unlock this? Let's wait. We'll just put a big hospital in. Are we going to unlock all the big variants? Hospital, fire, police. Yeah, okay, so we'll wait. We'll wait on that. I don't want to zone in any more commercial because I want the commercial to be high density. Or at least, what is it? Leisure? What are we on? I already forgot we unlocked. Terrible. What? Tourism specialization. So we could do some tourism, some hotels maybe. I don't know. Something over here. To change up the look of the zoning. Okay, all of them are leveling up. Schooling wise, I definitely think we're going to need schooling soon, the way that we're spread out. Huh? A lot of elementary. I'm surprised with all the people that we have here. High school should be good too then. We'll need that sooner. Look at that. Perfect fit. Like a glove. Right with the commercial businesses on either side. Probably space that out into its own campus in a later episode. Okay, we've kind of flattened our residential. What do we do here? How can we kind of hook this around? So maybe this is all commercial supporting the residential that we keep tucked in. And this could be all the way. You know what? That's kind of buried way down the woods. That's fine. We can do all the way up to there. I think that's good. We're definitely going to have to check our water over here. And they're probably going to spread all crazy power-wise. But we can maybe mound this up a little bit. And follow another neighborhood kind of around here into that area. I think that might make sense. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So if we grab, this is expensive. So here's what we should do. We should save it first. Save game. Overwrite. Sure. Made this mistake before. So grab your, in this case, level tool. And I'm going to find a spot that kind of sits nicely above. Man, I wish we could add a golf course. This would be a great spot for a golf course. So let's grab a height that's above, kind of above the city, right? Not above it, but, you know, where there's a clear separation in height. So we'll hit X or square to select that height. And we'll bring it down closer. This is going to make a mess of the power lines. That's fine. We'll bring it down closer to the houses. Now it's going to distort those houses and the dirt behind them. That's okay. So let's do that. Right now, let's look at this for a minute. You know, so you've got more of a mound that happens behind the houses. Now it's a little lumpy, so we'll go into the smoothing tool now and knock that back away from the lots. But still, and I think we can hit the other X button to make it be a little bit more drastic. But here, you know, are we full? Yeah, we're max size and strength. The only way to fix these is to rebuild these power lines, but as soon as you do it, it completely snaps. Let me show you. Why they force you to do that to... Actually, is this all connected now? We don't even need this. Okay, so that gives that a little bit of separation. There's a reason why those neighborhoods aren't built back there. And then maybe we could even, money-wise, we're doing pretty good. Let's get a bunch of trees in there. Okay, we'll be right back to that in a second. 5,500. Okay, now we're going to build a bunch of different brushes in here. I'm going to skip over the conifers for a minute because the wild conifers, that is. Let me get all these other green trees in there, just a random sampling of them. Heck, even some bushes. And then let's get in here with a smaller brush and up the strength and do some conifers now. Right? I think that's cool. I think that's got a good look. Right? And again, there's a reason now that those houses don't keep going up that way. But we could have, you know, again, a neighborhood that kind of falls around most of the way to there, and then maybe over here. This could be more farmland if we wanted, but let's make the trees look a little bit more, you know, like they're filling in this space a bit. The thing to be careful of is, and I mentioned it before, but it's worth warning people again. If you, we have a full dump in the background there. If you paint trees down, that becomes forest. You can remove them and it's not forest. If you have farmland and you paint trees down, when you remove the trees, it doesn't become farmland again. It's always ruined. So don't plant trees around your farmlands if you want to use them for farming. Okay, so what are we gonna do up here? Nothing yet, I don't think, because what did we unlock at 5,500? Well, of course, some new unique buildings, leisure, tourism uniques. We have, oil specialization, tourism. We'll do that. We'll do a little tourism block. We'll turn on some policies, especially Old Town, and encourage biking. And then we've got some decorative roads we can start messing around with, which is nice. Bigger versions of the hospital, bigger power plant, fire, police. We've got the bus station now, which we can drop in. Do we need a depot and a station? Somebody let me know in the comments before I delete that. I totally just went to collapse that. I was going into the menu like, I can't do that. Okay, so one full dump down. All right. So let's do a tourism specialization here. We've already got the district selected, so tourism. What's the deal with tourism? Well, causes noise pollution and attracts tourists. Pretty simple. Leisure is 24/7 though, so this one's a little different. But also, if I remember, this is all the hotels and stuff, so these are going to be the larger buildings. And we're going to be supporting them, you know, off of a commercial primary road and off of highway supported access. Maybe we have like almost another little highway that runs in behind here. Could do some more commercial. That might be an interesting way to separate that side of the city. Anyways, okay, so we've got tourism stamped down over here. So what? We didn't do any zoning. So if we do, let's do selection tool. So now when we zone this, it's going to become tourism focused. So let's do that much for now. Let's do what's zoned for now. How about that? That works. What is zonable, that is, because of where I stopped the road. Double check our water, which I think is good over here. And then just because it's going to be a problem, let's bring power over there. So we'll see those buildings start to move in. The specialized ones, if I remember, do not Like, they don't have any historic settings or anything like that. I think it's just one level and that's it. Right? Yeah, specialized industry buildings are always the highest level. This is a specialized commercial building game. Okay. So yeah, see, these get pretty big pretty fast. So that's kind of where our downtown area will be. We'll have one block of buildings like that. We'll have maybe a breakout block that's, you know, a block or two that acts as a you know, a leisure strip. So maybe a little back street tucked away where all the bars and nightclubs and comedy clubs are. But we'll have it kind of down here off of this main area. So those are some of the tallest buildings you're going to get. Commercial wise, I guess office will probably get to about that same height, and that does meet industry demand. But Green Cities has some huge skyscrapers in it, but they're also very repetitive. There's only so many models, so if you're looking for skyscrapers on console, that's not the reason. That's not necessarily a reason to get Green Cities. But man, do the general residential buildings look really good. I think the high density residential Green Cities look really good. I keep seeing this and thinking to myself, okay, let's go empty that. But that is not a thing yet. Again, that happens at what, 7,500. So we're not going to do any oil. We should look at our policies. Encourage biking citywide. Old Town on our residential district over here. Again, or I shouldn't say again, because I mentioned this stuff because some people don't know or haven't heard it before. So Old Town, such a cool policy built into the base game. Obviously, that's what we're doing here. And essentially what it does, and let me bring up the official text before I butcher it with my paraphrasing. So under city planning, we're going into the district here. I should even take a step back. So district tools, you can interact with the district. And now when I go into policies, I'm saying I want to do a policy just for that district. And what I want to do is Old Town. Only residents and businesses can use the area for motor vehicles, no other traffic. Now that doesn't ban emergency service vehicles or anything like that. But basically, if we go back to our district, right, I can't be, you know, up here in the farms and maybe I want to go, you know, over here into this neighborhood. I can't drive through here to get there because I don't live here. So I'm not going to cause any traffic if this isn't my destination. If we had that stamped on the main road also, commercial would still be able to get their deliveries because they're part of that. But you can't cut through a zone to get to another zone. So make sure you're not doing it on main roads, but doing it to prevent people from cutting through districts, like in this case, a residential one. We want to keep the traffic as low as possible and keep things nice and quiet. All right, well, I've been going way too long. What I'm going to do is I'm going to frame out, I don't know. So I go to here, no, we freeform. And let's go down to here. Create little cross points. And I'm going to fill in just a couple neighborhoods. We'll spread these out just a little bit. Ooh, that works. Let's do that. And then one through here. And then why don't we go kind of, well, right up the middle. And we'll just get really funky with this. This is going to be the Old Town. Is that too weird? I think that's okay. We'll get a bit of, we'll get like a couple blocks of apartments. And then maybe have like a buffer street and then have like a commercial strip through here. We'll see. I don't know. I'm going to come back to this. I'm not 100% if I like this, but here's what we're going to do for the next episode. That was repair roads. I keep seeing it and I keep forgetting. Encourage biking. Policy citywide. Encourage biking. Let's do that. All right, so our demand dropped down quite a bit. It's actually starting to tick back up right now. But I don't know. I don't think it's too loose. I think it's okay. Got a decent amount of money in the bank. Let's get some conifers in there because that never hurt anybody. And then let's get smaller brush with some smaller trees there. Just to kind of fill up the side, fill up the center there rather. Just want to get a look, get a feel. So, you know, how we transition down from here, I'm not 100%, but I think we could get, you know, one more row of commercial on the backside of this street. A block or two, or maybe like a block of... Do we do like a block of high density residential that kind of runs that way and then more on this side by the river? Because that would be kind of cool. And then we could do some different stuff with the highways over there. I think that'll work. Okay, so we will move in a bunch more lower density residential. I had to kind of see a couple of the houses move in and get an idea of the scale and like what was going to happen. We can't do park life, right? So how do we fill up the space here in the center of some of these blocks? Well, we still could, I mean, you could cheese it if you wanted to not necessarily function, but if you wanted it to look cool in like a cinematic, like, you know, we could bring a road across like that. We could, I'm going to drop a cheap park in just because. How much is this? $1,000. Okay. So you could do something like this, you know, drop it in, delete it, and it wants a road. I think you can still get people there if you do something like, you know, paths like that. I think if we, you know, so you could mess around with it. It's a lot easier if you start with square streets, but you know, it will forever be complaining that, oh, I don't have road access. But you know, when you pull back or look at cinematic camera and you're swooping around, it can look like a cool little park object. You know, if you're just going for appearances, you can pull little tricks like that. Put a road down, drop an object on it, and get rid of the road. Just be prepared for it to potentially burn down because fire trucks can't get to it, tourists can't get to it, whatever it might be, you know, but it still looks the part, right? So again, if that's what you're going for, you can kind of do those sorts of things. What I will do is instead of leaving it on pause, why don't I leave it on 3x speed? And then of course we pause it when we go into this menu anyways. So we're in pretty good shape here. We've done a lot of things. Maybe we can look at, you know, dropping in next time a couple quick changes to some of the roads for decorative purposes, but I'm going to get us up to 7,500 for the next episode. We're going to start looking at metro and high density and seeing this kind of snap together, right? So when we unlock metro, we can't even go to that tab yet. I was going to say, I want to see what we have on there, but tune into the next episode to see what's on there. So I'll get us growing up to that milestone, and we'll start planning out some of the higher density downtown areas and figure out what we can grid. So today's episode is kind of all over the place, but I think we kind of need this to build the city that I want to build, because we're going to get this one as close as we can to where we want it, get all the milestones. And then we're going to start to introduce the DLCs one at a time, see what it can do to the city, delete it, go back to the full milestone city, start over with the next DLC, and keep jumping through and see how each DLC really kind of impacts the gameplay, give you a sense for that. I think that's going to be really valuable to people that don't have the DLC, because you're probably watching this. Well, maybe you're a fan of the channel. I appreciate that. But maybe you're watching this because you have vanilla and you're tired of all the modded content out there. So if you're here for that, I appreciate that. But you know, the DLC is kind of along those same veins for some people. They don't have it. They don't want it. Maybe they don't know that they want it. So maybe this will show you which DLCs would be of interest and how they change the game. But again, stay tuned for that. New videos Mondays, Wednesdays, Friday. If you enjoyed this one, likes, comments, shares, they all help the channel a lot, and they are so greatly appreciated. If you're new here, subscribe for more. They're usually a little bit more focused than this, but again, I kind of want to do these episodes to keep the build moving and circle back. Like, let's build an area. Let's go back and tweak some stuff right away so that we're not going back to tweak it later. We'll try and do as much from each milestone, each episode, and build the city up. And hopefully you have some fun along the way. If you'd like to support the channel, links to that and lots of other things in the description down below. But until the next one, this is Move the Mouse, signing off.